The full episode of this podcast can be seen for free. Click the link in the bio chat. Let's get it. But
Charleston White?
Yeah, very captivating. Yeah. Like, people are interested. Mm-hmm. You did one interview with them. Two.
Yeah.
How do you, what do you think about everything?
We don't rock with Charleston White anymore.
No more?
No, you don't see him covered on the site. You won't see interviews with us anymore. At the end of the day, when we did the first interview with him, and then like he was saying some really like racist things about Asians and stuff like that, me and him actually had a conversation about this. Yeah. We had a conversation, and I was just like, yo, like this is, I don't agree with this, and you know what I mean? And if you keep doing shit like this, you're ultimately gonna get you're gonna lose your social media platforms. Sure enough, like 2 weeks later, he lost his YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, look, like, we could do another interview and we could address some of this stuff. And you know what I mean? Listen, we all fly off the handle. We all make mistakes. I don't feel that, you know, this is necessarily who you are, because our conversations have never been like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we did another interview, but then after that, he's talking about like raping Asian babies, and you know what I mean? He's talking about people's kids. He talked about Boosie's kids. He talked about Math Hoffa's kids. These are like little girls and little boys. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that to me is just disgusting. You see what I'm saying? And I understand that you're trying to be edgy and you're trying to do shit. You know, you're trying to get out there and so forth. And, you know, you have the right to defend yourself if anyone runs up on you. And I agree with all that. But, like, you don't have to bring kids into the fucking conversation. The kids didn't do shit. The kids don't even know. You've never even had interactions with these kids. Talk about raping, like he said about like I'll rape an Asian baby or some shit like that. Like it's really just disgusting things to say. Like, you know, like I feel the same way when JT was beefing with some girl on Instagram saying, said, oh, your baby's ugly and looks like finesse 2 times. It's like really, you gotta talk about the baby? Like that to me just shows a person's character. Like I look at JT differently because of that. And listen, we all get foul shit. You and I have a mountain of foul things said to us every day for I've been dealing with this for decades now. Every day someone says something disgusting to me. But never do I say, fuck your baby, fuck your daughter. I'll slap your son in the face when I see him. I'll fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll rape a child because I'm mad at you. Like you know what I mean? Like at some point you got to say, this is not okay. And I'm not going to get behind a person that's willing to say stuff like this when they get angry. You know what I mean? Like I fuck with Boosie. Like my relationship with Boosie has been 100 for like 20 years. You know what I mean? Like I was one of the first people to interview him and Webby when they first got signed to Atlantic. This is like 2005 or something like that. You see what I'm saying? This is coming up on 20 years. You know, you talking about this man's kids who he loves. Me and Math Hoffa, we go back 10 years. You talk about Math Hoffa's daughter. Like I just can't support someone like that. So if you look, we don't cover Charleston White. If his name ever comes up, it's because the other person brings them up and we just address it and we keep them moving. But like, yeah, all this other shit, I'm not gonna do any more interviews with him. I'm not gonna, you know, and honestly, I'm sure there's lots of other platforms that want the views. I mean, I think Sean Cotton still rocks with him. Seems like you kind of rock with him. You know what I mean? But
you know,
you just can't like you see what I'm saying? Like at what point do you draw the line? At what point do you draw the line?
I've talked to him in addressing a lot of these things, and
how does he justify talking about people's kids?
So I'll talk about when he says, and he's talking about Asians. He believes that's a character that he's playing, that he's in. He has multiple characters that he feels he's established, and one of them is hateful. And
that's a cop-out.
And he feels that
unless he's schizophrenic, clinically schizophrenic.
If you watch this, I'm not saying he's schizophrenic, but he's completely standing behind this character thing where he says, "Yo, listen, there is a there is Charleston White, then there's Chicken Shit's Charlie, and then there's like two more other characters.
Rat Williams.
Yeah, Rat Williams and whatever the case is. And I've had the conversation with him about this, saying, hey, listen, you know, there's a moment where I thought his voice was kind of escalating. By the way, and I thought it was very necessary too, because, for example, for certain things like denouncing some of the Chicago stuff, like saying, hey, listen,
okay.
King Von, I said, listen, you've been through the penitentiary system and you've seen how some of these things happen. You could, like, you're going to see you're going to handle it from a perspective that if I say it, they're like, yo, bro, you never been in the streets, right?
Right.
And I said to him, I said, that's what I believe was your overall message in you even catching steam. You might be losing focus when you start going on individual tiffs and then you try to say, hey, I'm mad at Vlad. I'll say anything to hurt him, even things that are, again, like privately, he's not saying that. You know what I mean? He's not saying, no, I really believe this. He's like, no, that's a character.
He's saying it publicly, which is worse.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. But he's blaming it on the character. So
I'm not even entertaining this fucking argument. Like, honestly, like that argument insults my intelligence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're saying it. Like, you're not in a movie. Okay,
I'll say this.
If he did that in a movie, in a scripted movie, that's the only way I would accept that character. You're doing this on social media.
Well, he believes part of it's satire. I'll say this to kind of even put a bow on this. Without giving away too much, subsequent conversations with him, he feels like maybe there's a too far button that he probably has realized. Yes. And maybe it has happened now.
The show got canceled in New York, right? Weren't you doing the show with him?
Yeah. That shit got canceled pretty quickly. Which, by the way, he keeps to, like, I guess down south is like different from, I mean, literally, if you knew how quick that show got canceled, like, it was a vehement, it was like, hey, listen, within 2 hours, it went from, hey, listen, we're kind of getting some calls from some really powerful people. Some of this conversation doesn't, there's a clip that he has to, hey, I think you might have to change the person who you're going to have on the show. To 2 hours later, they're like, hey, listen, we're not hosting this thing at all.
Right.
So an hour later, it's like, yo, hey, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. Just even thinking that you were aware of some of the stuff he was saying, we're wondering about you. And I was like, whoa, wait. So again, that's New York. Like, we're at the epicenter of not only media, but like at so many things going on in the world. There's so much input into it.
And listen, I'll just say this, right? There was a consortium in the early days of the internet to decide what was unacceptable on a worldwide level, right? For example, I've been to Brazil before. Bestiality is legal in Brazil. I walked by like a porno store and there was like pictures of like, covers with like a girl with like a dog and shit like that.
Back in the day though.
Huh?
Like back in the day. It can't be stuck. Like,
I don't know. But yeah, this was, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. I don't know. I'm saying bestiality in certain parts of the world is considered okay. If you want to fuck a dog, then go and fuck a dog. You know what I'm saying? The dog's fine with it. It's all good. But the one thing that's across the board that every country agreed on is pedophilia. Nobody's okay with the raping of children. So when your platform, your character is a child rapist, nobody's okay with this.